So one final data handling video now, and this is a new topic. We're going to look at histograms. Histograms are actually quite easy, they just look a little intimidating. So histograms are basically bar charts. Okay, they're basically bar charts, but there's some differences. Okay. First difference. The area of the bars, or the rectangles, they represent the frequency. In a traditional bar chart, it's the heights that represent the frequency, but in a histogram, it's the areas of the rectangles or the bars that represent the frequency. Next, the bars can be different widths. They can have different widths. In bar charts in science, the widths of the bars are all the same, but in a histogram, they will be different widths. Okay, the heights is known as the frequency density, and the width of the bars is the class width. This will all make a bit more sense when we do some examples. Okay, so we'll look at this question. This is what your sheet looks like. We have a table and some bars from a histogram. Okay, so the important things to remember are that the area represents the frequency. So, what are we looking for? We're going to complete this diagram. So, complete the diagram. So basically we just need to draw some rectangles in this question. So with the rectangles, we know that the area is the frequency, and we're going to want to find the widths and the heights. The height is known as the frequency density. Okay, that's why if you look at the y-axis on the diagram, the y-axis is the frequency density because that is the heights of the bars. Okay, so the width is just the class width. So since the first group ranges from 0 to 10, the width is 10. The second group ranges from 10 to 20, so the width is 10 again. The next groups, they both have a range of 5, so their width is 5. And then finally, the final group has a width of 20. Okay? Right. So we know that the area is the frequency, we know what the widths are now, we just need to find all the heights. So, in this first example, what is the height going to be if the area is 8 and the width is 10? Well, the height of that rectangle is going to be 0.8. This makes sense because width times height is the area, so 10 times 0.8 is equal to 8. Yeah? So frequency is also the area. Okay, we just have to do that with all of them really. We have to find the heights or the frequency density. So in this one, the height is going to be 1.6 because 1.6 times 10 is 16. The next one, 3 because 5 times 3 is 15. This one is going to be 2.4. If you do it on your calculator, you would do 12 divided by 5. 12 divided by 5 is 2.4. And then finally, in the last one, you do 6 divided by 20, and that will give you 0.3. So 0.3 times 20 is 6. So these are the heights of the bars in our histogram. Okay. If you want a formula for that, well, the frequency is equal to the class width times by the frequency density. And that is changeable with area is equal to width times height for a rectangle. Or if you want to find the frequency density, you just do the frequency divided by the class width. Okay, right. So, since we know that the height of the first bar is 0.8, we can label the height of that particular bar as 0.8. And now, if this is 4 squares high, then that means that each square must be 0.2 high. Okay? So that means that this here is 1. The next one up, if we go 5 up from that, is going to be 2, 5 up from that is 3. And indeed this makes sense because if we look at the class 20 to 25, that has a width of 5 and a height of 3, as it should do. So now that all that's left is to fill in the other bars. So you should really pause the video now and fill in those bars for yourself. Okay, so we can start with the first bar. So the first bar is height 1.6, that's that high, and it has a width of 10. So that's the next bar along. The fourth bar along has a height of 2.4 and a width of 5. And the final bar has a width of 20 and a height of 0.3. So that's really all there is to histogram questions. We'll look at some more examples in lessons, but all you need to remember is you're just finding areas of rectangles.